This side of the internet was not meant for the public to watch. Viewer discretion is advised. The person you are now, you will not be after this video.
Theory Jeffrey Epstein is still alive, right?
Yes.
Yo, they found out he's still alive through Fortnite.
I've seen that one.
That's crazy. So in the files, they actually found what his Fortnite account is. And you know what it is?
Littlest Jeff.
Littlest Jeff.
What?
So Jeffrey Epstein, he supposedly died before 2017, and he actually has logs on that account on Fortnite with wins dating as late as 2025.
Yeah, that was chapter 5 season 1. And chapter 5, that's recent. Quote me if I'm wrong. I think we're in chapter 6 right now. So chapter 5 was probably like,
yeah, this is last year, 2025.
yeah.
What's even crazier too, he actually bought V-Bucks. He's playing, bro.
McDonald's isn't just fast food. It's something much bigger. And most people never question it. Look at the golden arches. They say it's just an M, but symbols like that don't just happen by accident. This isn't just a restaurant. It's everywhere. Every city, every country, almost like it was designed to reach everyone. They tell you it's 100% beef, but millions of burgers every single day. And you never see where any of it comes from. There's a process behind it. Mass production, closed facilities, things you were never meant to see. And then there's the formula: salt, sugar, fat, engineered perfectly to keep you coming back. It's not just food, it's habit, routine, something built into your life without you realizing it. And by the time you notice, it's already too late, because you've been eating it your whole life.
The Warrens Occult Museum holds many famous haunted objects, but these are some of the lesser known objects in their collection. The toy dinosaur. This small toy was linked to the notorious possession of David Glatzel, which inspired The Conjuring 3. The Warrens said it seemed alive, often appearing in different places and even levitating. They also claimed it told the family, "You're all going to die." The pearl necklace. This delicate string of pearls looks harmless, but the Warrens said it carried dark energy. Its last owner claimed it tightened around her neck at night, leaving red marks as if invisible hands were trying to strangle her. The vampire's coffin. An old European coffin rumored to have held a modern-day vampire's body. I couldn't find too much information on this one, so if you know the story, please leave it in the comments. But the thought of a vampire is wild. The human skull for black magic. Taken from a grave desecrated by occult practitioners, this skull was used in black magic. Investigators felt violent headaches and a heavy sense of being watched whenever they were near it.
Have y'all seen this video that was recovered in the Jeffrey Epstein files? So many people are pointing out this figure standing in this doorway behind him in this video. It's a tall humanoid-like figure with a very large head. What's really creeping people out about this is the fact that it is not like a statue or anything like that. It moves at the end of the video, but it looks just like an alien gray. Large head, dark almond-shaped eyes. It almost even looks like it has gray skin. Now this thing stands in the doorway and watches him. This video is slowed down, so it's only there for a few seconds, but then it turns and walks away and you can get more of the shape of the head. And with everything that they found in these files, I wouldn't be surprised if this is an alien. Other people are saying that it could be a demon, but one thing I know for sure is if it does come out that this is an alien, I don't think anybody would be surprised. After everything else that has been uncovered in the—
Bro, did you see the emails where he would reply about certain cases? He would say whoops, just whoops.
What do you mean certain cases?
I'll explain it to you. So the word whoops actually shows up in 316 emails. So one email states, she said that she felt God's presence next to her when she was in bed. She knows that Jesus watches over her. Whoops. So in this case, he's referring to the sexual abuse or death of a young girl. And another case is the death of Robert F. Kennedy's estranged wife after she tragically hung herself in 2012. What'd he say? Whoops.
Wait, so he's basically saying whoops. Oh, just like whoops, who cares to all these events?
Yes. There was another case where someone had actually lied to him and some recipient. The recipient actually told Epstein, you have permission to kill this person. You know what he says? Whoops. So yeah, this theory of whoops is definitely just a word of like,
It's not giving a fuck.
either kill that person, do this to that person.
Take a look at this video and let me know if you notice any striking similarities between the public education system and literal prison. The resemblance is uncanny. Artificial lights, artificial materials, bells to tell you to go in and out, raise your hand, ask to leave, in a cage, I get it. But still, what is with that? I think the optimal school classroom is outside. I don't think young people should be, like myself was, under artificial lights, which, by the way, artificial lights shortens the lifespan of fruit flies and chickens by about 50%. It also makes them more agitated, at least the chickens, and the hens laid less eggs under artificial light as well. And then there's another study that shows when you're surrounded by artificial materials, I'll find the source on this, but they basically tested the heart rates of students in classrooms with, plastic tables, metal chairs and all that versus I guess outside or something. And they had thousands of more heartbeats per day inside or surrounded by artificial materials. So it is a silent stressor on our system. Now, let me know what you guys think. Is it possible we could improve the way the education system works? Or is that just too far out? Also, what's with the slop we get fed? In Japan, they got homemade broths, everything handmade from scratch. Where I went to high school, it was frozen pizza and frozen French fries. Those are the two basically things you could buy. And they were expensive too. It wasn't so cheap. It should have been organic. And I do wish RFK would do more organic stuff. So far, what did we do? Did we even ban fluoride yet? I mean, come on. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And just know the best days are ahead. The brightest days are ahead. And follow for more.
Also found Jeffrey Epstein's Minecraft account.
What?
Yeah, they found that he was actually a Minecraft YouTuber. It's always the Minecraft YouTubers that are doing
What?
this, eh?
I did not know about
Yeah,
that.
they found an email in the files from YouTube.
Yeah.
It's replying about a comment that he commented on a Markiplier video.
What?
Yeah, so they looked at the channel. Channel's called Guns A-Blazing 7378. What makes it so sus is his Minecraft videos, he didn't actually use a voiceover or narration or anything.
Okay.
But the Minecraft skin, Gavin,
Yeah.
is very Jeffrey Epstein. And it's very sick. Look, it is.
No.
And look how it's dressed.
Oh no.
Yeah, bro.
What the?
Messed up,
See, I
man.
thought I knew about the Fortnite, but I'm like, Minecraft too?
Jeffrey Epstein had a fake passport. It was found in his safe in January 2019 when the FBI raided Epstein's home. They drilled a hole into his safe and they found a fake passport that was issued in 1982, expired in 1987. So that's right during Iran-Contra.
Very interesting.
And it listed the residence of Saudi Arabia, right where Adnan Khashoggi was. It had Epstein's photo, but a fake name. And it had 4 stamps on the passport showing that he went in and out of Saudi Arabia, went in and out of, I think it was the UK and a couple other countries. 4 times. I mean, this fake passport was so good in the 1980s that he was able to travel pretty much freely under a fake name internationally.
It was a documented
Ramsey, and in the picture you see Ghislaine Maxwell's side profile right behind her. This was at one of the parties.
Let's take a quick pause. If you're still watching this, it means a lot. While you're here, leave a like, comment, and subscribe.
What the flip do you mean it escaped? Brother, you've doomed us all. You have single-handedly ended humanity. So for those who don't know what this man has done, this man Citra is creating a 10-foot animatronic. Not just any regular animatronic. Brother, he's waterproof, fireproof, bulletproof, can crouch, hide, and he wants it to think like a human. And it's supposed to look like this. Why are you making this? What is your end goal? And by the way, there has not been any updates for 3 days. And the last update we get is this. Because what the flip do you mean? This thing has escaped. If I see a 10-foot tall metal robot with a face like that, the only option I have is to sacrifice myself. What I genuinely don't understand is we have made multiple games about this. And you could have made anything. Or you could have just made a statue, a flipping flying car, the cure to cancer. But no, you want to make a 10-foot tall robot that is nothing but a threat to humanity. And it's indestructible, by the way. And then it's somehow escaped. I wonder why it's escaped. And the CIA, the FBI, the military, the army, nobody has been notified of this. There's just a random crazy robot roaming the earth. And no one's getting stressed out.
Could you tell there is something deeply wrong with this photo? Discovered inside a hidden lockbox after her grandfather passed away. And the woman who found it, Regina George, she's staring at the image, wondering the same thing you are. There's something just off about this picture. This next part is where I pooped my pants. At first, she was almost certain this showed the staircase of her family home, but she couldn't quite understand what this thing was in the middle until she enhanced the photo. Hauntingly clear image of what looks like a woman dragging herself up those stairs. Regina handed the photo to the police, and it took them 6 months, but the experts say this was most likely evidence of a woman that was held captive and tortured. With her grandfather already passed, no one would ever know who she was or what happened to her.
This is why exploring haunted places alone at night is never a good idea.
Look at this place, dude. Hello? Oh, this is the scariest place I've been to yet. Wow! Really? What was that? Did you hear that? So down here is where people have reported seeing a shape-shifting entity. Dude, I thought it heard a growling sound. Yo. Yeah, I'm out of this basement. I'm out.
Now the video itself feels unsettling. Question is, can you be brave as the guy in the video? Let me know and follow for more mysterious videos.
So this is Heber Down Conservation Area, and it has one of Whitby's most chilling urban legends. Hikers, cyclists, everyone in the city has all reported the same thing. A woman in white standing between the trees watching silently. So according to the local legend, a young woman died tragically right here. Some say she drowned, others say she fell from the ravine crossing at night. Yo, look what what this shit is called. I'm gonna lie, it's called Devil's Den Trail. You see that? We're gonna go right over here. That is also a haunted place where they say they see the white lady at night. Look at this, look at this, look. The fucking piss of Doomerson. In the Philippines, if you pee here, you gotta say tabi tabi po, or else the woman is gonna come after you, you know what I mean? People claim that after the sunset a figure appears, a woman wearing a long white dress standing completely still. So people say that she never speaks. Some people say she vanishes when approached. So they say even locals around here avoid the trails at night. So don't turn around because some people say that she only appears once.
This celebrity sold her soul and now she wants it back.
I want to tell you I apologize and I'm sorry for what I'm about to say, but as far as this music stuff, I won't be doing this music stuff anymore. I started this because this was my dream, and you know, I wanted to make sure I could get me and my kids out the hood. It's always been my passion to rap. A while ago, I had signed a contract and I didn't know nothing about the business or this game out here. And just right now, I'm realizing that I signed my soul. I sold my soul to the devil. I signed myself to the devil. I don't even own myself no more. I sold my soul to the motherfucking devil, and I done prayed. I prayed, and I prayed, and I prayed. You know, it's just like, I don't know if God can get me out of this, you know, and it's just like to the point where I don't even know, like, I I just want to say I'm sorry to my fans. I know y'all love me. I know y'all believe in me, but I can't.
I have a personality test I want to try on you. There's this picture. Depending on which girl you find attractive the most, will tell me so much about your personality.
Okay.
So this is the picture. Each one corresponds to a different personality trait that you have.
What I found most attractive here?
Just point.
This one.
Interesting.
Yeah, the first one that caught
Really?
my eye.
Actually?
Yeah.
Yo, this is so accurate because I tried it on other people and it makes so much sense.
Wait.
Which one do you think I picked?
This one?
Yeah, I picked D. So you picked A.
Yeah, A.
If you picked A, you're more likely to like girls that are more introverted, shy, less confrontational, and overall more agreeable.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So if you chose B, you're more likely to go after girls that are more bold, confident, and determined. So C is you like people who are relaxed, easygoing, and open-minded. And then D, the one I picked, you like people that are determined, decisive, hardworking, and overall persistent.
Oh my gosh.
It's very accurate.
That's
no?
accurate.
So there's certain elements to a face that kind of bring out character. It manifests who you become.
Watch this. So the dog was seeing something the owner couldn't. They always say animals have more senses, but what do you think? Let me know and follow for more mysterious videos. Watch this.
I just heard a whole bunch of kids laughing, bro. You hear that shit? What the fuck? Bro, I'm in the mall by myself.
So this security guard has the worst night shift job. No amount of money would make me work there. Not after that children laughing shit.
There's a person right there. In a red shirt. Right in front of me. Right there, y'all see him. There's a person right there. What the fuck going on? He just standing there.
And what if it's an intruder? It could be more dangerous than a ghost. What do you think? And follow for more mysterious videos.
Bro. A seemingly normal photo was taken at a wedding reception. It's a live photo from an iPhone. All the guests are gathered around the table, but there's one extra guest at the end of the table that nobody knew was there. A terrifyingly chilling face is sitting at the very end. It even looks like it's wearing a black puffer jacket, and it looks like it's moving in the live photo. Now, the person who took this photo said there was nobody sitting on that end of the table. They have no idea what this is, and they are creeped out by this, as they should be. This thing is just sitting in the back next to a wall, staring at the person taking this photo. It's very large, dark eyes. Its mouth is turned into a frown. And like I said, at one point you can actually see it move, so it's not just like something piled up right there. It's some sort of being. It makes you wonder if this is some kind of omen for this couple that's getting married. What do you guys think this is? And why did it decide to join this dinner party at this wedding?
Michael Jackson might be one of the most misunderstood celebrities of all time. And the reason why is actually scary. Everyone heard the stories of Michael Jackson, the accusations, the headlines, the documentaries, and everybody remembers his home, the Neverland Ranch, a place built for kids to have fun and enjoy themselves. People saw this as like a weird thing to do, and I'm not gonna lie, I thought the same thing, because the media portrayed Michael Jackson as a bad guy, like a guy that likes to be around kids a little too much, if you know what I mean. And when I say everybody made fun of Michael Jackson, like everybody made fun of him. From Family Guy,
wow, it looks like Michael Jackson's coming right at me.
to like movies, he was like the media's punchline. What if I told you the media made us want us to think like that he was a bad person? What if that was all part of the plan? Because like recent news in the files that they found, they have discovered that Michael Jackson actually went to the island and helped kids escape from it to go to his Neverland Ranch. So that's what people are saying now. And I just want to say, if this is true, I just want to say sorry to Michael Jackson. I thought you were a bad guy, but like that's what the media portrayed you, bro. But now that we see the truth, good shit.
An 18-year-old British student, George Smythe, has vanished after entering the area surrounding Romania's famed Dracula's castle. George left the resort town of Poiana Brașov on the 23rd of November 2025, planning to hike alone toward Grand Castle in the Busegi Mountains. That evening, he called Romania's emergency hotline asking for help. He said he was exhausted, freezing, and had been forced to step inside the castle grounds to rest for a moment. It was the last time anyone heard from him.
This is a real headline. This is not fake. A teenager actually tried to hike through the Romanian mountains to Dracula's castle by himself in the middle of winter. I'm starting to think that some people's free will needs to be revoked at this point, because why would anyone think that's a good idea? And guess what? He's still missing. When emergency responders went to the location of the call, they found his belongings, but not him. That's creepy as shit. That's not helping with the whole vampire narrative. I really hope this kid isn't dead, but every day that passes and they don't find him, it just looks worse and worse. The case is still ongoing though, so we just gotta keep waiting. And I'm seeing way too many people saying, ooh, vampires did this. He was taken by vampires. Guys, it's Romania in the middle of winter. He was probably either attacked by wolves or bears or froze to death. But what if?
Guys, I love you all. Please don't do this in the middle of the night. It's really scary. It's 2:30 in the morning and someone's trying to get in, and it is... I know they can't get in, but it is still scary. I basically just sit here in silence until I feel like they've probably gone. But yeah.
I think there's someone in the Airbnb. Oh my god. Thing in here. The only door into upstairs is locked. It was like that. Can you hear it? The fuck?
What happened to Kash Patel? Because no normal person does this at a press briefing when they know the cameras are rolling, unless they can't control themselves. This is not AI and has not been edited other than it's been zoomed in. Now, I wonder, when the FBI has been in existence for so long, do we really think this newly appointed, maybe early 40s, late 30s guy is running the show? He's the director of the FBI. Bro, this is controlled by the hidden hand and secret society. These folks we get to see on TV are nothing more than puppets. Puppets who exhibit strange tendencies for us all to wonder what the Sam Dam is going on behind closed doors. Now, I wonder if the FBI is interested in, the safety and prosperity and the, security of a nation. Do you think they'd be possibly investigating the companies that are producing the chemicals that cause infertility and basically sterilize the population, like glyphosate and atrazine? Yeah, I'm talking about the billions of pounds of glyphosate sprayed in North America, United States per year, which is shown to cause infertility, but it's still happening. Is that malevolence or incompetence? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and follow for more.
You ever randomly decide to check the vents in your house? Look at this. Can you see that? Yeah, let me zoom. The hell is that? It looks like it's a box of some sort. Oh man. There's another vent opening over that way, so it should be closer. I still don't know if I'm going to be able to get to it. The fuck is that? Yeah, I randomly decided to just start looking through the vents. I went through all the ones upstairs, and then I, gave up, and because I didn't find anything interesting or whatever. And then about 30 minutes later, I was sitting on the couch, and it occurred to me that there are vent covers down here in the basement. So I decided to have a look. So I guess I'm gonna try to get that out of there, and I guess we'll see what it is. Stay tuned.
Talk about the infamous Plainfield, Illinois house. So a lot of people in Plainfield, Illinois are very creeped out of this house because of the flashing lights. And I know a lot of people are gonna say like, yo, why are some flashing lights scary? Because if you translate it in Morse code, it translates to SOS. You guys don't know what that is? It means send help. So we might have a black phone in real life in Plainfield, Illinois. Guys, this house got so famous, it even went in the news. There's like police patrolling everywhere in this area. I have a feeling there's something fishy going on inside that house. Guys, I live in Illinois and I'm like 40 minutes away from this house. So like if this video blows up, I'll investigate the house.
If you ever get kidnapped, you do what Elizabeth Smart did because her last name was Smart for a reason. Also, hi, I'm Grace. Can I be your horror girly? So they came in through her window, kidnapped her into the night. Her sister saw all of it. Then they took her to the forest nearby and he married her and she was 14. When they decided that they were going to leave town, she knew she was going to be if she didn't figure something out. This is from the Netflix documentary Kidnapped that came out earlier this week. So what does she do? She goes up to this homeless religious man who has trapped her. She says, you know, you're so great and you're so grand. I think God told me that we actually have to go back to Utah, but I'm a dumb, stupid little woman. She said this after she gained his trust. So she was like, you need to check with God to make sure I'm not just a dumb, stupid woman and see if that's really what God is telling us to do since you're his prophet and you're his chosen one. And he was like, yeah, I know, I'm pretty great and you are a dumb, stupid woman. So let me check with God now that we both trust each other. Let me check with God and I'll let you know what God says. And then he comes back to her and he's like, you know, God actually did agree because things are not working out here. Let's go back to Utah. Thank you, Elizabeth. These are pictures from the campsite. But then that is how this girl was then later rescued and found. And thank God her parents were like, the police's advice, we're just gonna go public with the suspect sketch because at this point we have nothing to lose. Like we have everything to gain. And so based on this sketch that came to the little sister's mind months later, and then all of the missing photos of Elizabeth, someone in a random area in Utah recognized them together. Because remember, she was also walking around with her little religious thing, and if a police came up to them, he would say she can't take it off because of her religion. But because they showed the picture to the public, someone then saw them, alerted the police, and then she was discovered and she was saved. All because she said, we gotta go back to Utah, and the parents released the pictures.
This is a photo sent in from Oakwood Cemetery in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Ghost in like a Victorian dress. Can you see it? The cemetery is so haunted that it's known around by locals as Hell's Gate. So I started playing around with the exposure and the lighting a little bit, and I got this thing. And at first I thought, okay, that's just like a headstone leaned against another headstone, but look at this. When I adjust the brilliance, it blacks out the tree and all the background, but this doesn't get blacked out. That's what made me look into it a little bit deeper, because why is it not getting blacked out if the rest of the tree is? Because it's not in the background, it's in the foreground. It's in front of those headstones. This headstone right here is leaned against this headstone right here, but you can see the body through here. This is in front of both headstones. It's in front of the two that's leaned, like one's leaned against a tree. This thing is in front of the tree. I was like, what's this over here? What's this? Then I got this dog looking thing, and then this cloaked figure right here. What is going on in this cemetery? See this? This is in front of these two. At first glance, I was like, this is not a ghost. But I thought, let me put some work into it, and yeah, it is.
Okay, so they bought a home that was over 200 years old, and they found a door underneath their staircase. I don't know what I would do if I saw that, but this is what they did.
You come down the stairs, then yeah, you be my model. And then under the stairs, we knocked it through. Don't make noises! And then you look through the hole. It is just a fucking staircase. A fuck and a door. Don't make noises. I have to fucking live here.
It's a, yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, we weren't going to. Well, it's gone.
Shine the light down there.
Fuck?
Shine the light down there. Alright. Through even further.
How the fuck did you get through that hole? With great difficulty. I was gonna say.
Oh, you did. Right, let's go. Shut up. Okay. What you're saying?
Have you got a mask? Because you don't know what's down here.
I haven't got. Well, I've just been getting.
If you have a look, it goes down even further.
What, another staircase?
Yeah.
Shut up, man.
Oh, I like the walls.
Yo, can you grab that number?
Okay.
What?
It's as big as your flat down here.
Oh my god. Let's talk about one of the scariest photos ever taken. And it's believed that this photo is of a demon. It is so scary, in fact, this man right here was at the time hiding his drug use from his family, saw the photo, and went into recovery. He used this photo as motivation, because if you look behind his head, there is something standing there, right over his shoulder. Joe and his wife Patty were attending their friend's 50th wedding anniversary when this photo was taken. And at the time, Joe was hiding from his entire family and friends that he was using drugs. Photos were developed, and everybody who saw it saw this dog-like creature standing behind Joe. It has a very terrifying grin, glowing yellow eyes, and it's looking directly at the camera. Patty described this thing as a demon, while Joe himself interpreted it in a different way, describing it as the evil that was inside of him, keeping something like this from his family. Whatever this thing is, a manifestation of an addiction or a literal demon lingering over this man's shoulder, it's absolutely terrifying. What would you do if you captured this in a photo? Let me know.
Okay, you need to genuinely ask yourself what the odds are that Kate Middleton, when presenting her newborn to the world, dresses up exactly like the actress in the movie Rosemary's Baby. But do you know what happened in the movie Rosemary's Baby? In this film, Rosemary is impregnated by a member of a satanic cult and gives birth to the Antichrist. And this is how this woman dresses up. Literally, look at the necklace, like it's identical. What are the odds of that? Now, if we're past that it's obviously 1 in a trillion, that this was like a whoopsie-daisy coincidence, what does this mean? Is this hiding something in plain sight? Are they sending a message? Is the message that they're in a satanic cult? I'm not sure about the Antichrist part of it. But to me, I don't know what other message you could get from this than they're telling you that they're in a satanic cult. If someone else has another idea, let me know in the comments below. It seems that the people in control or in influence of this world today are rebelling against the natural world. And that's why we're seeing all kinds of toxins and chemicals in the food, air, and water supply. It's a rebellion against the natural world, and it's a plan to weaken you.
There's something growing in Chernobyl. It's a black fungus. It's insane. This fungi is growing rapidly around anything that has radioactive material, and it's literally eating the radioactive material, absorbing it, and turning it into clean energy.
Hey!
So it's a good thing, as far as we know. Claudiosporium sapphirocerium.
Nailed it.
But it contains melanin, like in our skin.
Yeah.
We've never witnessed anything like this in nature. They're saying of how creepy it is. They actually call it the reactor shadow because it literally looks like a shadow coming from the reactor.
Just
but it's
pitch black.
Black fungi. Grows faster in higher radiation, repairs its own damage, DNA extremely well, and uses radiation for energy. So it's literally
Feeding itself.
Yeah. NASA is now using it for experiments for potentially shielding spacecraft with this black fungi.
Whoa.
Because
that's cool.
they've been testing it on the International Space Station, and it actually thrives in space.
No.
What?
Okay, that's weird. This is like the literal plot to like Alien. I mean,
Yeah.
This is crazy.
But they're talking about lining astronaut suits with this black fungi.
What's it do when it mixes with people, though? I mean, Last of Us.
And so they're speculating that this is actually an ancient fungi, and at some point on Earth, where there was a giant meteor that hit and it ruined the ozone, that this fungi actually was flourishing and actually brought the Earth back to its normal state because it absorbed all the radiation.
This fungi is flourishing.
Every American kid who's ever taken school pictures.
Oh, the Life Touch.
We're all in the Epstein files.
Yeah.
Is that not crazy?
That's insane.
Because the company Life Touch is connected to the guy, I guess, who runs the company or who founded the company, is a part of the files, and he's been there so many times. They mentioned bro's name so many times, and it's connected to him. So then it makes you think, what about all the kids who didn't buy their pictures?
Yeah.
Where did the pictures go? Think about it. How many times did you take school pictures and you didn't buy them?
Yeah, exactly.
Did you get them? Did they go to your house?
Yeah.
They didn't go to my house. So where do they go? Where do
Or even if
where
you do
all
buy
the-
them, it's
even if you buy
like-
them, they make a copy.
Yeah, there's
So-
a file on a computer somewhere.
So where did the
with
other
your
ones
picture on
go?
it. Yeah.
We never questioned it. Our parents never questioned it. So now it's just a bunch of
So
pictures
weird.
of kids
From
literally
kindergarten all the way to your senior high
year.
school.
So wait, let's even go a step further. Where does that kid live?
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure they have access to all that shit. They know that I go
Yeah.
to this school. So now they already narrowed it down to he lives in California. Oh, and then it's that school. There's only one of those schools in that district.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean, bro. It's such a crazy thing of you have a never-ending cycle of child pictures.
Yeah.
That these creepy niggas can probably
Forever.
use for whatever the hell they want. So it's
Crazy
wild that
as hell.
they're over here wondering why we all care about the Epstein files because we're a part of it.
Yeah.
Literally, we
What
all
the
are.
hell?
Anyone who's had their school picture taken is a part of that.
So then it goes into this thing of like, are we all just gonna keep just sitting here being like, yeah, well, the new Spider-Man's coming out, and then we're just gonna care about that, and then these people we know right now they're eating babies, and then we're just continuing paying them money every year, every
Crazy
year,
as hell.
every year. They just take taxes from us, they take
Yeah.
our money, it goes to them, they pay for whatever they want, they do their little parties and their nasty, crazy shit, and they're just like, yeah, these people, they're all just a bunch of cattle.
If you guys have been watching my videos, you understand what's going on regarding the Epstein files. It's interesting hearing other people's takes on the situation that's going on, especially how your school pictures and my school pictures are out there in a database that we do not know nor will probably ever find out what the true intention behind these are. It's very concerning. Please let me know what your opinion on this is down in the comments below. Let's keep going.
Hey guys, what's up? Check out this video. This guy wakes up and he's hearing things in his house. This guy's name is Alex. He's on TikTok and his house is extremely haunted. He goes around looking for what it is, and here in a second you'll see it. It's something, it's got a pure evil, a demon or something, but you'll see it here in just a second. He's looking around. That's him over there. Now watch when he turns around. Right here in this, look, you see it? You see it right there? What the hell was that? Crazy, right? Look at that shit. Anyway, his name's Alex. He's on TikTok. And his house, he got it from his grandma, and it's extremely haunted. Y'all go check him out. Man, what the hell is that? Look, it even looks like it's got horns. Anyway, thank y'all for watching.
What happens if you never stop screaming? 1 minute. You push air through your larynx at hurricane speeds. Your vocal cords slam together hundreds of times per second, creating massive friction heat. Hour 4. The protective layer of your vocal folds begins to blister. Your voice cracks and drops an octave as severe inflammation sets in. You are developing acute laryngitis, and every sound feels like swallowing broken glass. Hour 8. The capillaries inside the vocal folds burst from the relentless pressure. You are no longer just screaming air. You are coughing up a mist of bright red blood. The tissue is tearing apart. Day 1. The swelling is now so severe that it physically blocks your windpipe. You are suffocating on your own throat tissue. Your brain is starving for oxygen, causing you to hallucinate from hypoxia. Day 3. Total silence. The vocal cords have ruptured and fused together with thick, fibrous scar tissue. You have permanently destroyed your ability to produce sound. You will never speak again. What if you were raised by rats?
Something creepy happens in this video. There is something strange with the appearance of the woman with the yellow umbrella. It almost seems like she's not moving. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.
Does the government have fake towns and grocery stores set up around the country?
Look at this shit.
This doesn't make any sense.
Look at this shit, bro. Look at all these fucking cars.
The parking lot is packed out.
this.
Watch.
I'm gonna show you guys something.
Oh wow, there's no one in here.
Nobody.
Nobody's in the store.
Nobody in here, bro. Look, there's not even a line. There's nobody in the aisles, bro. Look at this shit. How do you explain all fucking 50 cars out there, bro? And this store is empty. What the fuck? What the fuck?
Stay weird, y'all.
It's crazy.
I seen something really messed up in the Jeffrey Epstein files. They found a file talking about them cloning celebrities so that they can do things to the version of that celebrity that they wanted. Wait, what? Yeah, so they were investing billions into cloning and trying to clone celebrities, specifically Britney Spears at the time, so that they could do things to a version of that clone. In the files, it stated that this clone might be like years old today if the clone is still alive.
Holy
and is pretty much like Britney Spears' clone.
Yeah.
I'm sure in their head they think like cloning it, okay,
Yeah.
boom, expendable.
And where do the bodies go after? Do you see that too with the trapdoor into the
Yeah,
ocean?
literally in that one picture, it shows in the bottom floor, it goes straight to the depth of the ocean.
Oh god, this rabbit hole goes deep. So I found this photo in the Epstein files, and in the center of the image you can see Brock Pierce. Here's the EFTA number for those of you who are curious. And yes, Brock is wearing what looks to be an ancient esoteric symbol on his shirt, but I'm not trying to muddy the waters here, I just had to point it out because it's interesting. Now, who is Brock? Well, he's a former child actor, and he's a pretty prominent name in the cryptocurrency space. Brock Pierce was a child actor when he was younger, and he appeared in a number of films you might recognize him from, including The Mighty Ducks and Little Big League. But here's where things get sticky. When he was younger, Brock got involved with a man who wanted to launch a company. That man's name is Mark Collins Rector. Together, Brock joined in with Mark Collins Rector and a guy named Chad Shackley, and they launched a company called Digital Entertainment Network in the late 90s, early 2000s. So Mark Collins Rector, this Chad guy, and Brock Pierce operated the company Digital Entertainment Network out of a massive mansion in Los Angeles. And according to police reports and newspaper reports at the time, parties would be thrown at this Los Angeles mansion that were attended by the, quote, Hollywood gay A-list. And at those parties, Mark Collins Rector, along with others, are said to have molested teenage boys. Oh yeah, that's because they were throwing pedophile parties there. These weren't just normal parties. These were parties where they would invite some of the child actors that they were using for their productions over. They would ply them with alcohol, they would molest them, and sometimes they would film those molestations. So in August of 2000, Mark Collins Rector, this guy right here, was actually indicted for crimes against children. And afterwards, Mark Collins Rector, Brock Pierce, and the other investor in that company, Chad Shackley, they all fled America and headed to Spain. And Interpol eventually arrested all three of the men in 2002 in a small town known as Marbella. Interestingly, though, Brock Pierce and Chad Shackley were released without any charges. They were never charged with a crime in connection with any of this, but guns, machetes, and child pornography were found in the home in Spain that Brock Pierce and these others had been living in. So eventually, Mark Collins Rector was brought back to the U.S., and he admitted to luring 5 minors across state lines to have sex with them, and he was eventually given a very light sentence. However, in 2006, Mark Collins Rector was given permission to head to the UK for a...
Let's take a quick pause. If you're still watching, thank you, it means a lot. While we're here, please, if you don't mind, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. That was it. Let's get back to it.
Brain operation. And as soon as he got to London, he renounced his US citizenship and has never returned. He's a free man now instead of serving his sentence. As of 2014, he lives in Antwerp and uses the name Mark Collins and Morgan von Phoenix. This was all talked about in a documentary called An Open Secret. It's a powerful film. But I always found it interesting that Brock Pierce went on the run with this guy. He operated this company with this guy. He was allegedly at the parties with this guy when these children were molested and filmed. And there was child pornography found in that house in Spain, and he's never been charged. So then when I see a picture like this of him in the Epstein, there are so many pictures of Jeffrey Epstein within the Epstein files that show him with wounds or infections in his lip or lips. And to me, a lot of these pictures look like they were taken at different times. This injury right here looks to me to be completely different than the injury I'm about to show you. I mean, it could be the same, but is it? I mean, there's something about these photographs that is just so off-putting to me. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to describe it. I mean, obviously, one reason is because Epstein is one of the most evil people to ever walk the face of planet Earth. But to see him flashing his teeth at us with these wounds and swollen lips, I mean, it's really just disturbing stuff. Now, I'm going to go on the record here and state I don't think that what was happening here is a disease related to cannibalism. I just don't think that that's what this is. But I do think that something happened to Epstein. I mean, obviously it did, but is this an allergic reaction of some sort? Is this an infection? Is this some sort of a tooth issue that spread into his gums? Or is this an actual physical issue, like he was beaten or something happened to him? Those are questions that we just don't have answers to, but I don't know. Every time I see one of these pictures, I just get a a really weird feeling and a chill down my spine.
Everyone has a different opinion on this, but the most believable and the most common theory I have heard regarding these pictures and his face from that allergic reaction is that it's not actually an allergic reaction to an allergy. People are speculating that unfortunately it's due to consuming human meat. Apparently, if you consume a lot of it, it causes inflammation such as that. So who knows? Did he get stung by a bee, punched in the face? Or it's, you know, the dark theory. What do you guys think?
What if you could pay someone to help you disappear without a trace? No goodbyes, no explanation, no calling card, just vanish. In Japan, it's a real thing. It's called gonigeyat, or the night moving companies. And they do everything. They help you leave in the middle of the night. They'll pack all of your things. They'll find you a new job. Sometimes they'll even cut ties with people that you knew. You see, in Japan, there's a lot of pressure around failure, debt, divorce, a failed career. And that social pressure can push people to do drastic things. Every year, thousands of people in Japan choose to do this. They choose to become evaporated people, or in Japan, johatsu, ones who disappear intentionally from their old lives. Here's my question. If this was a thing in the United States, would you do it?
Jeffrey Epstein won the Powerball twice. The world is a giant stage.
I think I can safely say I've reached the final tier of like the red pilling process where it's like, I'm at the clear pill. I'm at the retard pill. Because I have all this information and there's no, like, it doesn't matter how much you know because there's nothing you can do about it. So it's like, dude, everything is fucking fake. Our presidents are literally chosen for us. Our elections are fucking rigged and literally don't matter anymore. Jeffrey Epstein somehow won the Powerball twice. The fucking lottery's fake. The Rothschilds wrote all the fucking books. Our history is fucking a complete fucking lie before you get into that. Everyone they said was evil and fucking crazy actually kind of, I think, had some fucking points. And then all the people that have been accusing people of doing evil shit were the most evil fucking people the whole time. So you know what? Just fucking log off. Who cares? Just go enjoy your life. There's nothing's gonna happen to these people. They're just fucking with us at this point. Both sides are fucking shit.
Theory of the empire of the city. So the empire of the city is the theory that there are in the world 3 city-states. There is the city of London, the Vatican, and Washington, D.C. These are all city-states. So like the city of London is technically not under the crown, but has ancient rights and privileges. And the Vatican the same, and Washington, D.C. the same. What's also weird, this connection, is that each city-state has an obelisk in it. The Washington Monument in D.C., the Vatican St. Peter Square obelisk, and the Cleopatra Needle in London. But the theory is that it's the 3 crowns that rule the world. So the crown of finance would be London, the crown of religion would be the Vatican, and the crown of military is Washington, D.C.
That makes sense.
Washington, D.C. is seen as the new Rome built on Masonic blueprints with its street layouts allegedly hiding occult symbols, which I would say it is, because the architect of Washington, D.C. was a Freemason, very outspoken about it. If you look at the symbolism within D.C., it's very Roman-like. There's a lot of Roman symbolism within America, which is super weird to me.
The whole thing's weird, man.
There's definitely more than just symbolism.
Big time.
There's a real occultness to all this stuff. It's just weird.
Theories that LeBron hasn't retired yet just because they sacrifice all their players after.
Oh.
Yeah, and like that one like is tricky, right? So I seen something where they named King James, like that's his nickname, right? But there's a real King James, and when they won the championship in Cleveland on June 19th, that's when the real King James was born. And yo, in the bubble when they won the championship, after the day Kobe died and his daughter died, it was Father-Daughter Day.
On Father-Daughter Day.
Yes. And they won by 13 points. Kobe was the 13th pick in the draft.
Now, okay, who's making these days?
Behind the scenes, this is all just like your favorite game is all planned.
Y'all remember that video I shared with y'all from Deep Run, North Carolina, of this pale crawler thing in this woman's yard? Now pay close attention to this, because another one was captured on camera, this time in Virginia. Only this one looks like it could be a baby. The OP of this video said that they live right outside of Danville, Virginia. They said they live right outside of a nature reserve, and they captured this on their back porch security camera. It triggered the motion sensor, and you can only see it walking by the camera. Although the clip is very short, the glimpse of whatever this thing is eerily similar to the thing in Deep Run. The only difference is this one looks smaller. It almost looks like it's about half the size of the one in North Carolina. Here's the one in Deep Run. It's definitely got longer arms and legs, and its torso is longer. So I'm wondering if this one in Virginia is maybe a baby? What are these things? Has anyone else saw anything like this on their property? I'd love to see it if you want to send it to me. And what do y'all think these things are? Let me know.
This is the most cryptic and symbolic halftime performance yet. What the hell? It all in the name. When Bad Bunny comes out, he's wearing all white like a messiah. Follow the White Rabbit, Alice in Wonderland symbolism, and the Matrix. We have these people dancing around Bad Bunny here, forming a star, which the star is a six-pointed star of David. At the top of the shack, there's also a square in the center, which represents the black cube, or the black cube of Saturn, which the cube is also within the Star of David, also known as Metatron's cube. The center of any star is also a hidden point, such as the hidden level of Kabbalah or the hidden tree of knowledge. So the bunny falls through the hidden point of the Star of David, which is the center, right through the black cube, falls down the earth, the fallen angels down the rabbit hole.
Why would anyone be upset that this man bought sulfuric acid? I mean, we're talking about the king of chemicals. Doesn't everyone have this at home? At least like a human-sized drum of it. Sure, 330 gallons is a lot of sulfuric acid for one man to need. Guys, there's a ton of uses for this acid. Fertilizer, batteries, chemical refining, metal cleaning. If you miss the reason why everyone's so upset that this man had hundreds of gallons of this acid breaks stuff down so well that once you're done using it to break something down, you don't dispose of it. You just reuse the acid again. Because this acid is so strong, you will dip metal in it and it will remove all of the rust. Fucking biological disposal. Sulfuric acid breaks down things like tissue. This stuff has been being used by serial unalivers since at least the 1800s. But like, this man used this acid in real life so much, he got the nickname the world's most notorious acid bath murderer. Even he didn't have 330 gallons of this stuff. And to help put this all together in a nice pretty package for anyone still not understanding the horrors of this, you will fill a tank up with this acid, use it to break things down, and then you can just continue to use that acid. But wait, they're saying things like bones and stuff like that, they would have to dispose of that. This man used an incinerator to get rid of bones. What did this guy have? He has things like trapdoors built into his homes that dump directly to the ocean below his house. So I don't know.
Eskimos aren't real. What? Have you ever seen an Eskimo? You haven't. They're Mexican people that have been deported from America. It's called Operation Muy Frio. Look that up. They're taking Mexicans here and deporting them. But guess what? They're not deporting them back to Mexico. They're sending them to Alaska. They're sending them to Antarctica. They're having them build cities. These things called cold cities. That's why they're called ice. Holy Christ. You ever seen a Mexican in a parka? It's just an Eskimo. Scared yet? You should be.
This was crazy from the Epstein files. Apparently he and his buddies were interested in exploring the biological consequences of time travel. What is this, Epstein's Gate?
Trump's ballroom.
Dude, I've heard some conspiracies about this.
Yeah, and the kicker, Trump is not using taxpayer money.
Oh.
He has some donors.
Ooh.
You ready for these donors?
I guess.
Google, Apple, Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, Lockheed Martin, Palantir,
Typical.
T-Mobile.
One of these
Sponsored
things
by
is not
T-Mobile.
like the other. Yeah.
Here's where it gets weird. Now it's going to be over $300 million for this 90,000 square foot ballroom. $3,330 a square foot. Way outside the standard of what you pay per square foot for a building.
So what are they spending so much money on?
A theory is that they're building an underground database center.
Yeah, there you go.
A couple years ago, Israel built a underground data center. They paid $319 million for this.
That's got to be it.
So this ballroom is costing about the same
Yeah.
as what this data center costs in Jerusalem.
But not nearly as big.
Well, that's just the surface.
Yeah.
Because they're just building a ballroom.
Yeah.
But what's going to be underneath?
And why are all these people interested in
And they-
investing in it?
They would all invest
Yeah.
because they don't want to be excluded.
Oh my gosh, bro.
In 2008, when everyone was telling me to get rid of my MySpace and to get a Facebook, I was right. I should have stuck with MySpace.
Who made MySpace?
Tom. The legend.
You don't know Tom?
MySpace Tom?
I didn't have a MySpace.
No.
Do you know how young I am?
I don't know how old.
Here's a spooky fact about New York City that you definitely don't know. All right, so in between Charles Street and Perry Street in the West Village, there's a little ass street called Charles Lane. Almost no one knows about it, but it has a super spooky past. Also, warning, there's a few parts of this fact, so stay with me. All right, so here we are in Spookville, aka Charles Lane in the West Village. Seems nice, right? Not so fast. This street holds a dark past. Let me explain. Charles Lane was laid out in 1797, and it was created to be the northern border of the then Newgate prison. So there used to be a big-ass prison right here in the West Village. Well, the prison was torn down in 1828, and this is all that remains of it. Here's why Charles Lane is so spook. When prisoners were sentenced to death and marched off for their execution, they had to walk down Charles Lane on these very stones. And where were these prisoners marched to, you ask? Right here to Washington Square Park. Oh yes. Washington Square Park was not always the lively park we know today. During the 1700s, it was actually a public burial ground. To this day, there are more than 20,000 bodies buried beneath the park. Alright, but back to the fact. So within the park, there was a very specific location that the prisoners were executed. It was in the northwest corner of the park, known as the Hangman's Elm. That tree still exists today. Let's go check it out. So this is the Hangman's Elm. It's actually the oldest tree in all of Manhattan, and it was planted in 1679. Oh yeah, pretty old. So prisoners sentenced to execution in Newgate Prison were brought to this very tree and hung from its branches. Ook! So traitors during the Revolutionary War were also hung from this tree. Follow Johnny Murtaugh for more awesome facts about New York City.
These are the top 5 worst geographically placed cities in America. Number 5, San Francisco. So the reason that this one is number 5 is because of a couple of things. So first, because it's actually placed directly on top of the San Andreas fault line, which is one of the strongest faults in all of the world and is capable of producing earthquakes that would level any city on this planet. Also, because it's placed on such a tight peninsula, it makes expansion impossible. So San Francisco is as large as it's ever going to get. The only way it could grow is to grow up. Number 4, Miami. Most of the city barely sits above sea level, and then on top of that, it doesn't matter what they do. It is literally made of a substance that is like a sponge. So any water that is around the city gets soaked up by the ground that it's underneath, and so flooding is always happening in Miami. So they predict that in the next 50 to 100 years, Miami will be completely underwater. There's even plans right now to preserve parts of the city and have it as an underwater like museum, basically. Number 3, Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix, Arizona is on this list. I think it's probably the most obvious of all so far because it literally sits within the desert and summers get up to sometimes 120 degrees Fahrenheit. It's almost unlivable. And you think about how were people living in Phoenix in the 1800s and 1700s, and the answer is not very many people were. You ask why did people ever choose to live in Phoenix? It's because it was a good like middle point between going west and the east. Number 2, Las Vegas, Nevada. Just like Phoenix, this is another one, another desert where summers get up to 120 degrees Fahrenheit. The thing that makes it a little bit worse than Phoenix is there's no natural water sources. Back in the day, there were natural springs. Now Vegas completely depends on the Colorado River, but guess what else depends on the Colorado River? Los Angeles, Denver.
So what happens when that dries up?
The Colorado River is almost completely dried up. Within the next 20 to 30 years, Vegas is not going to be a place where people can live anymore. And number 1, New Orleans. New Orleans is number 1, and it is known around the world as being the single worst example of human infrastructure ever. And it's because of one very simple reason. The entire city of New Orleans is under sea level, and it's surrounded by water on all sides. On one side, it's surrounded by Lake Pontchartrain. On the other side, it's surrounded by the Mississippi River. And then on the other side is the Gulf of Mexico. It's a bowl. Any inconvenience whatsoever, and the city is flooding. What makes it even worse, it's sinking 2 inches a year. So there is a realistic chance that within the next 20 to 30 years, New Orleans ceased to exist anymore, and all of the residents are...
Y'all, this real ghost photo is so creepy, and I really don't know what to think about it. This person takes a selfie of herself in the bleachers at a football game. A couple is sitting on the bleacher in front of them. I'm sure you notice it immediately. A woman has some sort of spirit attached to her. There's absolutely nothing else abnormal in this photo besides this. The spirit attached to this woman almost looks like it's wearing maybe a wedding dress and a veil with a crown of flowers. When you look closely at it, it almost looks like it has a skull for a face. And it looks like it has its arm wrapped around this woman. Now I brightened the image and played with the contrast a little so you can see it better. Whatever this is translucent. It almost looks like a mist, but you can clearly see the hair, the veil, the crown of flowers, and the illuminating hand sitting on the woman's shoulder. And the arm itself has like a shine to it. It almost looks like plastic, like a strange x-ray of something standing next to this woman. It really makes you wonder what this is and why it's attached to her. What do y'all think?
This might be the most disturbing video on YouTube. Luigi Murphy is the type of video known as YouTube. where a user will go in and edit a TV show episode. This original video was uploaded by Porkaboo12. I'm going to be showing you a recreation of it because it is scrubbed from the internet. Also, hi, I'm Grace. Can I be your horror girly? It starts with Luigi tucking Yoshi into bed. Then Yoshi asks him for a bedtime story and Luigi stares at him blankly for a very long time. He suddenly gets very angry and loud music starts to play. Yoshi gets very scared and then it cuts to Luigi's face as he does unspeakable things ending Yoshi. It then cuts to an unedited frame of Luigi and you can hear Bowser's laugh from Hotel Mario. And then after that we see the aftermath of Yoshi. Then this silly little montage plays. It's a bunch of black and white pictures of Yoshi from the TV show back when he didn't look the way he does now. And My Heart Will Go On plays during this montage. The video ends with a black screen with basic white text saying, "We will miss you, Yoshi."
Did you know Annabelle had an even scarier roommate? The shadow doll found inside the Warrens Museum was created for the sole purpose to curse someone. The origin of the shadow doll goes that a couple found it inside an antique shop, and when they brought it home, they started to notice something was very wrong with it. They would wake up in the middle of the night with mysterious scratches and bruises all over their body. This is where things took a much darker turn because the closer they looked at the doll, the more they realized that the doll was made with animal bones, black crow feathers, and a real human tooth. Legend has it the doll was created to perform curses. If you take a photo of it, write the victim's name on the back and mail it to them. When they look into her eyes, they would be marked by the shadow doll. She would enter their dreams and give them nightmares so terrifying their heart would stop.
Why did one of the victims of Epstein describe him as a reptilian?
While we're on the topic of the Kardashians and the Epstein files, can we please talk about Northwest's creepy ass drawings from when she was younger? Specifically in relation to a woman named Juliet, who is a verified survivor of Epstein, who claimed that she witnessed Epstein fucking shapeshift into a goddamn fucking lizard person. What? She said she didn't witness the change herself, but she was like looking at him and he was normal. She looked away, looked back. He's the creature. She looks away, looks back. He's normal again. And at this point, if you're ruling anything out for sounding too crazy, you're fucking dense. You're fucking slow. Like, let's be real. The more that comes out, I think it's safe to assume whatever we think is in there, it's a million times worse than the worst we can imagine. Juliet described him as a creature with big black eyes, and she drew what she remembers seeing, and the tongue really stood out to me because it reminded me of this drawing of North's, which is like, hello. And also this one, the tongue and the big-ass black eyes. Hello.
Stay weird.
Pass me the tin.
If you thought this documentary was disturbing, wait till you see this documentary. I saw people on Reddit who were like, do not watch this unless you want your life ruined. And I was like, oh, I've seen a lot of stuff. I could handle this. No. This is about disabled children in Bulgaria who are abandoned by their parents who don't want them. They are sent to live in these homes where they are severely neglected and abused. If you love documentaries, hit follow because I post daily. Nothing could have prepared me for what I was gonna see in this documentary. One little girl's leg is broken and she's taken to the nurse who just puts cream on her feet while she's screaming and doesn't do anything else. They're all skin and bones and just defecating on themselves. One girl is there who's just mildly autistic, and then by the end of the documentary, she's been so tormented by being there, she's like not even the same person. The staff beats the kids who help with the laundry. None of them have access to proper healthcare, proper food, like nothing, and a lot of them die there. According to this documentary, there are plenty of institutions like this all over the country.
Top 3 disturbing documentaries on Hulu. Death in Apartment 603. What happened to Ellen Greenberg? This was a missing person case that shocked the nation. This young woman's body was found in her apartment with over 20 stab wounds. They ended up actually ruling the death as a sewer slide. But it's like, how does that make any sense? And that's what the documentary lies out. It says, how is this possible? It's not, based on the evidence. The Perfect Wife. This is a missing person case that shocked the nation. That is until the truth came out, and it flips the story on its head and it becomes something really unsettling. Devil in the Family. Now everybody knows the 8 Passengers Ruby Frank case, and this really dives into that. If you don't know, it's about this wholesome mommy blogger that built herself this brand, this empire, and it collapses as her abuse and extreme religious beliefs and manipulation all gets caught. And it shows you what was really going on behind the scenes. Even as a Christian, you're not gonna like her. Save this video for your next binge and follow for more freaky.
Talk about the scariest episode of Gravity Falls. Okay guys, now that Gravity Falls is trending because of this meme,
Let's talk about Into the Bunker, the scariest episode of Gravity Falls. So this episode starts with Dipper and Mabel, and Sue's finding an old underground bunker built by this guy named Ford years ago. And inside that bunker, they discover strange experiments and warning messages about a dangerous creature locked in this bunker. Soon they realize this creature that they were getting warning messages of, turns out it was a shape-shifting monster that can perfectly copy people. While they're exploring this bunker, guys, they're getting stalked by this creature in a scary way. While the shapeshifter is doing his thing, copying people, Dipper has to figure out who's the real one and who's the fake one. And in the end, Dipper has figured out a way to like see who's the fake one and real one, and that managed them to escape, which led them to victory and escape the bunker, while the monster stays behind, trapped again forever.
Humans are lucky that we do not exist at the same time as hell pigs. This extinct nightmare creature was taller than the average human and weighed as much as a small car. It was a mammal that was like a combination of a pig, a hyena, and a bear. But it's even worse than that because it's closely related to hippos and it can open its jaw just like a hippo. So you imagine this sprinting towards you in the middle of the forest and suddenly the name hell pigs makes total sense. Their teeth could slice and crush, and so we find bite marks in a ton of different fossils. But they also ate a lot of plants, roots, they did a lot of scavenging, just whatever was easiest, they ate. And so hell pigs, or Entelodontidae, were an extremely successful family of animals lasting for over 20 million years. But if they were so strong, why did they go extinct? Well, it's kind of a mystery. Climate change definitely played a role. Forests turned into dry grasslands and savanna. There was also competition in the form of predators like the bear dog, which is exactly what it sounds like, and big cats, both of which were much more intelligent than the very small-brained hell pig. But there's something funky about hell pig fossils, which is that we find a lot of them around dried up watering holes. So one theory is that they just ran out of water. And so they went extinct 15 million years ago, which is of course very sad, but I can't lie, there's a little part of me that's kind of glad we don't have to share the earth with this terrifying creature.
One of the craziest haunting stories I've ever heard before. We're talking about cops staking out this haunted house because there's so much activity there. You have a knife that's thrown at you, and then all of a sudden you're witnessing a pillow be whipped at you at like 50 miles an hour through the air. And to this day, the cause of the paranormal activity is still an official mystery. At first, the brothers suspected that it had something to do with the new neighbors nearby who had moved into the house just around the corner. The brothers eventually theorized that the neighbors had been terrorizing their home and then hiding. Some of the police considered that it was actually the two Pomeranian brothers, that they were the suspects. Sergeant Charles Frisbee said, "We never proved either way whether it was an elaborate hoax or paranormal activity. If it was a prank, it was a good one. Others believe it was a poltergeist, a curse brought on by witchcraft, or even a demonic entity." Which brings us to Steve Shippey, the paranormal investigator. And according to Steve, the mysterious neighbor had used black magic to try to drive the Pomeranian family from their home so she could then use it for her coven gatherings and rituals. The stress of the Pomeranians then manifested as a poltergeist that centered its attacks around Dwayne. And according to Steve, he then believed that the neighbor escalated her ceremonies to full-on satanic rituals, which summoned a demon that went beyond her control. Steve believed that the demon remained in the area for decades after the events in 1970s. Wow. I mean, if I was to put together a paranormal theory for this, I think that's a